What if you could leave everything behind, quit your corporate job, and do nothing but deliver mail all day? If you've ever asked yourself this question, first of all, that's oddly specific, and I'm sorry for reading your mind. And second of all, I have just a game for you. In Lake, you play as Meredith Weiss, a workaholic city dweller dropping her 9-to-5 for a few weeks to deliver mail in her old hometown, Providence Oaks. In PO, as the radio DJ so gleefully calls it every morning, you drive around with nothing but a bag of letters, some packages, and a couple of repeating songs playing on the local radio station. During your time there, you meet new interesting people, reconnect with old ones, and ultimately decide whether or not you want to go back to your busy city life. I went into Lake with no expectations other than having a relaxing experience of delivering mail and was surprised by how much the story and its characters pulled me in. You get to decide more than I expected, from your nighttime routine to who you inevitably go out on a date with to the ultimate choice of staying or leaving. The choices really felt like they mattered, to a point where I caught myself worrying about messing up with some characters I got really attached to. But isn't that what life's all about? To take risks, make mistakes, and learning along the way? Lake captures that essence beautifully and manages to tie these important messages into a neatly wrapped 6-hour game. So, what's the gameplay like? You start out by driving around in an old truck, stopping at your addresses on your map and dropping letters into mailboxes and packages onto porches more often than not. But sometimes there are people hanging around that you can spark up a conversation with, and oftentimes that brings up options to do after-work activities, which you can choose to participate in or not. Of course, helping out your town members and spending time with them will ultimately lead to their relationships developing, but it's all up to you whether you want to do that and with whom. The after-work activities were mostly short but sweet interactions with the townfolk, where you got to pick some dialogue options and call it a night. Speaking of calling it a night, you could even decide on your nighttime activities at home, a detail that I really loved and helped me connect more with the main character. If you're not a big fan of driving around in a truck all day and would rather skip to the storyline, the game gives you ways to work around that with the fast travel and autopilot options. I went into the game thinking I wasn't going to use those, as I wanted a relaxing, slow-paced experience, but I ended up getting so invested in the storyline that I secretly started skipping some of the long cross-lake journeys. The option's there, but it's very unintrusive. You also don't miss out on much by using it from my experience. I will say, however, that I advise you to drive around at least a little bit on your own, as there are a few special encounters you might otherwise miss out on. The music in the game was a solid 9 out of 10. They did an amazing job capturing the small lake town vibes with the songs on the radio, and I found myself singing along to it quickly with the catchiness of the songs. The soundtrack was also incredibly good if you didn't want to listen to the radio. I myself had the radio off half the time, partly because the song repertoire was small enough to eventually get a bit repetitive, but mostly because I really liked the serenity of the soundtrack. There will not be a game review done by yours truly without mentioning the presence of cats. There are many feline friends in Lake, albeit all owned by the same old lady, and they did lose some bonus points by not making the cats pettable, but hey, cats are cats. Another thing I really like to do in my reviews is to talk about the feelings that this game provoked in me, as I always think that the way a game makes you feel is an important factor on whether you will finish it or replay it even. Without giving spoilers, here are the feelings that I went through while playing Lake. Peaceful. My mind going quiet. Joy. Comfort or coziness. Bittersweet with a touch of sadness. Worry about making the right choices. Awe. Emotional attachment to the characters. Surprise. Confusion. And hopefulness. Besides evoking plenty of feelings, Lake also does something else. It makes you consider your place in life and whether you are where you want to be in the world. It's a very special thing for a game to be able to do that, and I think they went about it in a very elegant way. I hope hearing about this little game helped you decide on whether or not you want to pick up this little title and play through it yourself. There are different ways to play through it depending on the path you take, so I'm very excited to hear the choices you've made and what happened during them. This is also, however, a warning for spoilers in the comments. If you want to stay fully spoiler free, make sure to be careful opening them. Oh, and one last thing, don't ask about the weird people sitting in their car with the engine on with no intention of going anywhere cult. I think they might be spying on Meredith, but I wasn't ready to stick around for that long. Alright, thank you so much for watching this review of the game Lake. I appreciate you all so much. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you liked this video and if you want to see more of this type of content. And have a great rest of your day, morning, or night, wherever you are. And I will see you all in the next one. Love you all. Goodbye!